nurse, "Where is the man who was sharing the room with me?" She told him that he had lost his battle with cancer and that he had died. And so the man was sad, and he said and asked the nurse, "Can I move my bed over to the side of the room where he was?" He said that there was a window that was there, and he would look out at it all the time, and I'd like to go and sit there. And so she moved him over to that side of the bed. And then he looked to the nurse and said to her, "This can't be right. The window looks out to nothing but a brick wall." Said, "My friend told me that there were green grass and blue skies and birds and all these beautiful things he saw." And the nurse said, "Sir, that man was blind. And since he knew that he had cancer and was going to die, he resolved that he would spend the rest of his days imagining what was beautiful in the world and wanting to bring you a little hope while you waited for your cornea transplant. He was actually the one that donated his corneas to you that you could see." The nurse asked him, "Would you like to move your bed back over to the other side of the room?" And he said, "No, I'm going to stay here so I too can imagine seeing my friend walking through the meadows that he described for me and looking at the blue skies that he told me were there, the bright sunshine and the endless possibilities that await me now that I am now able to see." And reimagining possibility. John the Revelator in our text paints the picture of possibility. And in this portion, his vision, we read about the imagining of all things new. Before now, the prophecy in the book has presented to us a very remarkable mixture of light and shade and prosperity and adversity, mercy and judgment, God's divine providence towards the church and in the world now. And as we approach the end of the book, a new world now appears. The former have passed away. I want to just stop there and say that many of us don't even want to go to the book of Revelation. Too scared. We don't want to see what's going to happen. We don't want to imagine. But in the very beginning of the book, it says, to those who read the words that you are blessed. So I want to say that you're blessed already. For those who read this prophecy, it says, you are blessed. You ought not be afraid. This is what God showed John the Revelator, and God then will show it to us. These things that we have. Don't be afraid. Now, I'm not saying, I don't want Jesus to come back right now. Not just yet. I ain't ready. I ain't ready. But should he decide to come, it's all right. But there's more to understand and to see. And so I don't want you to be afraid to read the book of Revelation, because I know some of y'all looked and said, Revelation? What's the matter with them? Reimagining possibilities. Some scholars say that this last two chapters in the book, it talks about the state of the church, and it talks about even here now, and it talks about the glory of the latter days. Others probably say, too, it's a representation, a better representation of the perfect and the triumphant state of the church in heaven. Sort of like when you pray, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I want to challenge you today, and I don't want you to pray that prayer if you don't mean it. I need you to stop praying the prayer if you don't mean it. Yes, some of y'all look at me like I'm crazy, but I told you don't pray the prayer if you don't mean it. And I mean what I say. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. What that means is you're asking for the way you do things, God, up there, I want it to be done down here. The way things are up there, I want them to come down and be down here. The way that we worship you up there, I want it to be down here. Your justice, the way that it is up there, I need it to come down here. I don't want you to pray that prayer if you don't mean it. And so it's very simple. Similarly, when John is painting this picture, and as we imagine things, and he says it's sort of while some faithful saints and servants of God wait not only to see but to enjoy the perfect holiness and happiness of that world. This is John's vision of what is to come. What is yours? And I'm not talking about just what's to come, but can you imagine what's to come now? What happens when we are so blinded by the things going on today that it stifles our imagination from seeing something better for ourselves? What happens when you no longer want to go to the movies because you're afraid of what happened in Colorado might happen here? I'm not going. What happens when you no longer want to go to a rally or a prayer meeting or what, because you're afraid that gunfire might come and it might hit you, or you afraid to drive your car anymore because you got into an accident and somebody you knew died and no longer can walk and you don't want to do that anymore? What happens when you're so paralyzed with what is that you can no longer see what might be? You cannot see the hope because you're so paralyzed with the hurt. Reimagining possibility. To reimagine something. Let's go first then to what it means to imagine it. It means to form a mental image of something not actually present to the senses, to think or to believe, to conceive a thing. And to redo something means it implies the second time around. So to revive or to rejoin, to come back again, to realize or to realign something, to rebuild something towards future improvement. To form a mental picture of something and then re-see that thing even better. The word possibility means the fact or state of being possible. The potential for something, favorable results. So then if we reimagine possibility, it means then to realize something into actualization. I realize something so that it can actually be. Something that is not yet. Reimagining possibility is activating our faith to unlimited potential. It is the hope of our prayers realized. Again, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Imagine that. God's kingdom come. The way you do things, your order, God, your will be done. Everything that you desire will come to pass on earth as it is in heaven. Can you imagine what heaven? You see what it says in the book and the way that it's so pretty up there. Do you have the courage, I dare you, to go back into the hood and see? Now, my family is from Trinidad, right? But I grew up in Brooklyn. And so in Brooklyn, there's some areas that you don't even want to go by. And so I've seen some areas in Bridgeport and in some of the other boroughs and some of the other parts of Connecticut, because I'm getting familiar with Connecticut now, right? And in the Bronx and in places down in the 5 boroughs, you wouldn't want to even go there. You can't imagine streets of gold there. Can't imagine milk and honey there. Can't imagine anything. I dare you to reimagine what it would look like if we had the economic justice that we should have. I want you to reimagine what the school system would look like when we had the books and the resources that you see. I want you to reimagine what the church could look like if we really had folk praying. I want you to reimagine it.